Hello everyone, welcome back to the Ixalan full set review. We're going to be going through the blue cards next, and I have a very excited Anthony ready to go through the blue cards.
Yes, let's do the blue stuff.
Alright, so we're going to kick off this one with a classic, that is the Air Elemental.
This card is awesome. It's always been good. 3 blue blue for a 4/4 flyer. You just pick it early and just be happy. Card's great.
Yeah, really easy one, just does what you need it to do. Been around for ages, years and years. I think it's one of the original sort of cards, possibly Alpha.
Yeah, I don't think it was that long, but it's always been good in limited. Always a bomb. 4/4 flyer is just huge.
So, good one, good sign for blue. The next one is Arcane Adaption. So this is an interesting little enchantment for 2 and a blue, and as it enters the battlefield you choose a creature type, and creatures you control are the chosen type in addition to their other types, and the same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. So basically every creature in your deck, in your hand, on the stack, everywhere, is that creature type. So really pushing those tribal synergies. And it's similar to something called Xenographed or Conspiracy, which are some older cards that have the same kind of effect.
Okay. Commander?
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of reason for doing this anywhere else. But all the Commander things, being able to either add a tribe, so adding bonuses for slivers for non-sliver creatures, or yeah, just making other creatures your creature type if you need them to be.
Yeah, it's good against slivers.
Yeah, you get to make all of your dudes slivers. That's pretty cool. If you got someone at your local shop that has a lot of slivers,
Yeah. Crap in limited, don't play it.
Ignore completely in any limited format, and probably going to be ignored in all standard and other competitive constructed formats.
Yeah, probably.
Good old Cancel is back.
Yep. I mean, we've seen this a million times. You'll play it in sealed, sometimes in draft. I usually like to have one, but take it or leave it.
Yeah, I mean, it's basic blue removal. Like, you take it as bad removal, I guess.
Yeah.
But you will play it. Nice flavor text on this one. Hold your fire, obviously. Good on you, Captain Thorn.
You did it.
Alright, next one is Chart a Course. So this is 1 and a blue for a sorcery, draw 2 cards, then discard a card unless you attack with a creature this turn. So this is almost raid. It doesn't have raid on it exactly, but if you attack with a creature you get a sort of a bonus, so you just get 1 off your divination, and if you didn't attack with a creature you have to discard.
This card seems great to me.
Yeah, seems very good, particularly in some of the more aggressive tempo-type blue decks. Some merfolk action happening. You're going to be, more often than not, just drawing 2 cards.
Yeah. And drawing 2 and discarding usually doesn't hurt too badly, but most of the time you're going to be able to just draw 2 for 2 mana. That's sick.
Yeah, no, good one. Alright, so... Daring Saboteur.
1 and a blue for a 2/1 human pirate. 2 and a blue... It can't be blocked this turn, and then whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card, then discard a card. So you get to loot when it hits. This card's very powerful.
Seems very good, yeah. That 3 mana to make it unblockable seems really good, and later in the game is going to make this a relevant creature.
Yeah. So it's one of those 2-drops that is good on turn 2. You'll have to trade with it, or you're just going to be looting through their deck, which is just crazy good.
And it's the first of our pirates so far, so really good to
Yeah.
see. This is a Grixis tribe, so it goes across blue, red, and black, and is one of 2 major tribes in blue, so the other being Merfolk for this set.
Yeah, I like it.
Cool to see some pirate synergies.
Mm-hmm.
Like our Deadeye Quartermaster. This is a 4-mana 2/2, which seems kind of average, but when it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an equipment or vehicle and put it into your hand.
Yes.
So it goes and fetches up a neat little artifact for you.
Yeah, this is really powerful. Because vehicles are just, I don't know, I really like them in limited, and now that you get to search one out, I think this has got to be good. Just has to be.
Yeah, I think overall we need to lower our general expectations for vehicles, because last time we saw them in Kaladesh, they were amazing. The vehicles in this set are not as strong. They're not as big. They're harder to crew. The first time Wizards did vehicles, I think they messed up a little bit. The crew costs were really low. These ones, you won't find a crew cost less than 3.
Really? I thought I saw one for 1. I could be wrong.
Yeah, there's
Maybe I'm
not
just
too
imagining
much. Most of them don't give you a power buff, it seems. Not by a lot.
Okay. I still think they're quite good, and it's card advantage. This card's good.
Yeah, it's cool. Interesting thing I heard about the art is apparently that's based on the artist's wife. So Josh
Oh, wow.
says apparently that's based on his wife.
That's really cool. You can't really see the face too well, but yeah, that's awesome.
So good on you, Josh.
Hmm.
Next one.
Deep Root Waters. 2 and a blue for an enchantment. When you cast a Merfolk spell, create a 1/1 blue Merfolk creature token with hexproof. And so this is a little bit like the artifact, the white artifact from the last block. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you get a 1/1 with vigilance.
Yeah, Catcher's Monument.
That's the one. Yep. The name's escaped me, but I don't like this one anywhere near as much. It's only off a certain tribe, and 1/1 hexproof is cute, but yeah.
Yeah, for limited purposes, it's probably not going to be good enough. You're probably not going to build enough Merfolk into the deck to get the value out of it you want. Do you think a standard sort of constructed Merfolk? I think people are going to try to build a Merfolk deck. Is this good enough to go in it?
If there are lords, and I don't think there are any. If there were lords, then yes, but if not, then I don't think so.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't think we've seen any lords. We have seen some ways to buff creatures, but not likely. All right, so Deep Root Waters destined for the trash pile, I think.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. Depths of Desire is a 3-mana instant, which is an unsummon that also gives you a treasure token. So this is our first instance of treasure. Treasure is an artifact token with tap, sack, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So it's like a Lotus Petal or more recently gold tokens.
Okay.
And I really don't know why they didn't call it gold. I don't know. It would make it a bit more synergized. Like we already had gold from King Makar, and now they've decided they're going to make it treasure. Is exactly the same thing.
Yeah, you can't be as colorful with the art though. If it's just gold.
Possibly, yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting that you have to tap it. Is that so you can't do improvise with it?
Yeah, maybe. That wouldn't work anyway. When you're paying mana costs, you have to choose one or the other. This is based on things like Convoke. When you're convoking, you can't convoke a mana elf and tap a mana elf for mana.
Okay, so yeah, that makes sense.
You would come with the same problem. But I think it possibly is because you could potentially cast an improvised spell and then still sack it for mana.
Yeah, afterwards. Yeah. This is good. You'll play it.
Yeah, it seems fine. 3 mana for an unsummon is a bit much.
It does ramp you as well.
Yeah, a one-off ramp. I don't know if that's going to be quite good enough, but yeah, I still see it's going to get some play.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to play it. I like my bounce.
Yeah, you like your bounce and you like your ramp, so it's pretty much everything you like.
Pretty much.
Alright, if it drew a card, you'd be in heaven.
Yeah, well, it'd be a rare, but yeah.
Alright, Depth of Desire, good blue card. Good blue common. Dive Down.
1 blue mana for an instant. Target creature you control gets +0/+3 and gains hexproof until end of turn.
Not good blue common.
No. Maybe a sideboard card against a bunch of removal spells, but I don't really like it that much.
Yeah, similar. Unless your opponent has a lot of things that are killing your guys, this is probably not worthwhile.
No.
Let's move on to the Dreamcaller Siren. So this is a very nice card. This is 4 mana for a 3/3 flying flash. Siren Pirate. It's a rare, and it says when it can only block creatures with flying. So it has what I like to call high flying. It can only get things right up in the air. And when it enters the battlefield, if you control another pirate, you can tap up to 2 non-land permanents. So this is a little bit reminiscent of Sign of Una. Sign of Una tapped a lot of things, all your opponent's lands, I think. But Dreamcaller Siren is that similar, flashes in, taps down some stuff, and is a 3/3 flyer. So yeah, really good card.
Yeah, and I mean, if you didn't get to tap to non-land permanents, that it's not a big deal. The card's still just great value. Flash flying 3/3 for 4. It kind of sucks that you can't ambush a creature on the ground, but that'd probably be way too good.
Yeah, that line of text has to be there for a good reason. I mean, a 4-mana 3/3 flyer flash, good enough as a creature.
Yeah. I'm going to pick this early and take it and be happy.
Yeah, it's good. Amazing. There's going to be some blowouts where you just tap down your opponent's last 2 blockers and swing in for lethal.
Yeah.
Entrancing Melody.
X blue for a sorcery, rare. Gain control of target creature with converted mana cost X. Mind control, this is sick.
In limited bomb, snap pick.
Yeah, easy. I mean, it kind of, you are paying more than what they're paying. So on curve, it's probably not that good, but late in the game, you got 7 mana lying around, you're going to get the best thing on the board. So
yeah, it's a quintessential 2-for-1. You take something away from them and you gain a creature. It's not an enchantment, so it can't even be removed in that way. It's just, that's now mine, thank you.
Yeah, this card's sweet.
Yeah, excellent card, so make sure you snap pick that one.
Yep.
Favorable wins. So this was competing as my next possible background for blue. That art is really nice. It's 1 blue for an enchantment. Creatures you control with flying get +1/+1.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't know, this is a tough one. There's certainly some decent blue flyers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If there's like a blue-white flyers deck or something like that, maybe you'll play it, but it's really sketchy. You'll only play it like 10% of the time, I think.
Yeah, this is a real narrow card, and I think it's going to come around to the player that wants it. You don't have to take this early if you are the blue-white flyers deck.
Yeah. Cool art, though. Yeah, I really like that as well.
Yeah, really good card, and I think it's going to do a lot of really good work in the right deck. But it's as I said, really narrow.
Yeah, I mean, this could get there and constructed if you got a lot of cheap flyers. That we've seen, we will see a lot of cheap pirates in blue. So maybe there's something there. I'm not sure, but
yeah, well, let's keep an eye out. We have seen a couple of flying creatures already, both here and in white in our last one. So
yeah.
All right, Fleet Swallower. Wow, that's a big fish.
Huge fish. 5 blue for a 6/6 fish. And whenever Fleet Swallower attacks, target player puts the top half of his or her library rounded up into his or her graveyard.
Mill players rejoice.
Yeah, they'll be happy with this one. In terms of limited, I'm not a huge fan of this. The good thing is it's when it attacks, so it doesn't actually have to hit the opponent. So if they chump block it, sure, they're still losing half their library. So it's like an Ulamog in that way, where it sort of is going to get them. But otherwise, 7 mana for a 6/6, it's not great.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, by turn 10, which is roughly when you're going to be casting this, people have drawn half their library anyway, so you're milling around 10 or 11 cards the first time. It's going to be tough to actually finish the game with the mill. I mean, the fact that this is a 7 mana 6/6 is probably the best thing it has going for you.
Yeah, and that's not that great, really. But in standard, instant win when it attacks with what's the card? Fraying Sanity.
Sanity, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
2 thumbs up for janky combos.
Yeah, someone's going to try it.
Of course. James Bison is going to be the one who tries it.
And it will be awesome when it works.
Yeah. And the other 2 games will be unfortunate.
Yeah.
Alright, let's move it on to the Headwater Sentries. So, this is another Merfolk. It's a vanilla Merfolk, 4 mana for a 2/5. Yeah. Vanilla creature.
It's better than a Pilfield Ox, but otherwise, yeah, you're Merfolk.
Better than the 1/7 in white?
Yeah, it is.
Bland blue creature if you need something in your deck.
Yeah.
Herald of the Secret Streams, however, is a 4-mana creature I'm going to be a little bit happy to play. It is a 2/3 merfolk, and creatures you control with +1/+1 counters on them can't be blocked.
Yeah. See, I haven't seen a lot of 1/1 counters in this theme. I know we haven't seen the green merfolk yet, but I haven't seen a lot from what I've seen so far. So I don't know how good this is going to be in limited. But I really want to play this with Azuri and Commander. I've been waiting for this one.
Yeah, Azuri, and that's the Renegade leader. Gives you counters equal to your experience, is that right?
Yeah, that's it. And it gets an experience for creatures that have two. When a creature with power 2 or less enters.
Like Herald of the Secret Streams.
So it triggers, you put counters on them, and then you bash.
Great card all around. I will mention that in limited, the way we're getting counters is probably Explore.
Good point.
That's where
I forgot about that.
From. So I think there's maybe some kind of a blue-green Explore kind of deck going on in there.
Okay. I can get by that. But 2/3 on 4 mana is not very good. So unless you've got something, I wouldn't play it.
Yeah, this is you've got a counters deck, you've got some counters to splash around, then you take this, not the other way around.
Yeah.
Alright. Tell us about little Jace.
There he is. Jace Cunning Castaway. 1 blue for Planeswalker Jace. They're now legendary Planeswalkers. And they have this one that comes in with 3 loyalty. You can tick it up 1. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player this turn, draw a card, then discard a card. So when your creatures hit, and only once, so if you have multiple creatures, it'll only trigger once. So you get to loot. -2, create a 2/2 blue illusion creature token with when this creature becomes the target of a spell, sacrifice it. And -5, create 2 tokens that are copies of Jace Cunning Castaway, except they're not legendary.
Alright, wow, so there's a lot to unpack here. I guess let's kick things off and talk about the rules change. So we can see that this is the first Planeswalker printed with the word legendary on it. So that means, from a judge perspective, the Planeswalker rule no longer exists, which was if you have 2 Planeswalkers with the same basic name, the same type, so 2 different Jaces or 2 different whatevers, one of them had to go. They were considered legendary in that way. Now, you can have as many different named Jace as you want. You can have this guy, Jace Beleren, Jace Mind Sculptor, Jace Living Guild Pact, all in play at the same time, and that's fine. How do you feel about that change?
I like that. I actually think that is better.
Oh, yeah?
I think it's better from a play standpoint, and I kind of like it because it's more consistent as a flavor way. Now, I know some people disagree with me on the flavor thing, having 2 Jaces from different time periods, whatever. But we already do that with legendary creatures when they're in different times. I just think this is cleaner, and same card. You can't have 2 of the same card. Fine.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I think for an efficiency point of view, it certainly helps with teaching rules and teaching rules to new players, because Planeswalkers are so prevalent now with the intro packs being Planeswalkers. It's a lot easier to say, if it is legendary, same name, can't have 2 of them. You don't have to worry about creature, Planeswalker, enchantment, it's all the same rule.
Yeah, and it felt like a really arbitrary rule, like it was just weird that it worked like that, and didn't seem to have any good reason behind it.
There is a flavor win in the rule as well. I think it is a bit of a flavor fail, having the whole time zone thing doesn't work for me. But there is a flavor win in here, because it allows Jace to make illusions of himself, make copies.
Yes.
So that's really cool. The first time Jace has been able to make illusions of himself, and we see that in the story all the time. That's how he defends himself. Now he can do it on a card.
Okay. Are we cool with, I just have a question about this card and doubling season. Do you just make, infinite Jaces?
Yeah, I mean, you can't actually win the game on that same turn, but you make...
If you can give them all.
100, you make
something.
100 million Jaces. You can't make infinite Jaces because the rules. But you make 100 million Jaces, and each of those Jaces makes a new illusion. Well, and then you have 100 million illusion creature tokens.
Yeah. That's cool. If you got something that gives things haste, that seems good.
So yes, in other news, doubling season's still good with Planeswalkers.
No, but it's really cool with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this for constructed. Honestly, I don't like the plus ability. The minus is meh, but that -5, if you can get to that, and it's only 3 mana, you can get to that in a couple of turns, and that is scary.
Yeah, I think if there's one thing that's a fairly fundamental law is that you should not ignore 3-mana Planeswalkers in any sort of standard possibilities. Saheeli Rai went very much under the radar for a long time until someone worked out that she was broken. 3-mana Planeswalkers can do good things.
Yeah.
Particularly Jace Planeswalkers.
Yeah, this one is going to be good. I think it's going to be good.
And if I'm not mistaken, every single Jace Planeswalker has been standard playable at some point. Every one of them has seen play. So.
Yes, technically, yes. There was one, the Ravnica Guild, the Living Guild pack, which wasn't very good.
Still
it did see play,
Pro Tour level play, so
yeah.
I would be surprised if this was the first Jace not to make it to a Pro Tour, not winning, but up there deck.
Yeah, this would be good. I'm convinced that this will be good.
All right,
and I'm happy about it.
And as usual, limited Planeswalkers, pick it, play it. It's awesome.
Yeah, this would be great.
All right. Kopala, Warden of Waves. So this is a 3-mana, 1 blue for a 2/2 legendary creature Merfolk wizard. It says that spells your opponents control that target Merfolk cost 2 more, and abilities your opponents control that target your Merfolk cost 2 more as well. So all of your Merfolk get a little Frost Titan ability, where if they get targeted, the opponent has to pay an extra 2 for their spell to happen.
Meh.
Yeah, limited, no, not real interested. Constructed Merfolk seems good.
Maybe, yeah. Too bad they don't stack because they're legendary, so that would have been cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you really need this ability to stack too much. And in the Professor's discussion, he put this at very high for Modern because it could replace Kira. Currently, Merfolk play Kira as their protection because Kira the Glass Spinner counters the first spell targeting Merfolk. But Kira is a spirit. This is going to get the bonuses of all the other Merfolk. It's going to fit in that tribe. So they're going to need some more testing. The Merfolk players, I don't play Merfolk, but those that do will need to test it out and see if it's better than Kira or not.
Yeah, it's going to be... It depends what you're using Kira for. Like, if it's for the protection, like the removal spells you're thinking about are only 1 mana, so this is only going to make it cost 3, which I guess it matters, but it depends how much it matters, I guess.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be tested. Whether it gets there or not, it's going to be tested in a lot of those modern Merfolks. And maybe standard Merfolk if we get there. That's going to stop pretty much all the removal in standard. It is 3, sometimes 2, but mostly 3 or more mana, so paying 5 for your mana, your removal, not going to be good enough.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Alright, and limited just no, right? 3 mana 2/2.
You'd have to have some Merfolk synergies, like a lot of good ones, but otherwise no.
Alright, so here's our background.
Yeah, Lookout's Dispersal. 2 and a blue for an instant. It costs 1 less to cast if you control a pirate, and counter target spell unless its controller pays 4. Yeah, this is good. I'll play this in limited.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't play it. I mean, it's bad mana leak. Is that okay? It's not as good as a mana leak, right?
Sure. I mean, yeah, you can't get it on turn 2, which is why mana leak's great.
You can,
but
there's a 1 mana pirate.
Yeah, okay. But 4 is a lot more than 3, I think, to hold up. Like, every 1 that you add to this makes it so much more likely that you're going to counter the spell.
Yeah.
So it's close to a hard counter. And sometimes being able to cost 2 and only have to hold 2 mana up is really good. So, you know, I think it's fine. You'll play it over cancel, I think.
Yeah, I agree you'd play it over cancel because most of the time this is going to be a counter, but I don't think it's quite good enough because Supreme Will was good, but only because you had the impulse ability tacked onto it. If you don't have that, I've had Supreme Will in my hand thinking I'm going to impulse now because I'm never going to counter something. later in the game.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I mean, I 90% of the time with Supreme Will, I counted something. Maybe I just was using it too conservatively.
possibly the later in the game you draw it, it's sort of you look at it and go, "Oh, this is kind of eh."
Yeah. It obviously gets worse in the late game, so yeah.
Right, but yeah, I do agree that it's a decent card, and it should be in most blue decks, certainly over cancel.
Yep. Navigator's Ruin, 2 and a blue for an enchantment, and it's a raid trigger. At the beginning of your end step, if you attacked with a creature this turn, target opponent puts the top 4 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. So the mill raid trigger, which is weird. Why are we getting mill off attacks? Like, this is just odd.
Yeah, and I can't remember exactly, but there have been other cards that when it deals damage, your opponent mills 2 cards or mills 3 cards or something like that. Those sort of creatures, and your opponent is just dead before they're milled out because you're hitting them in the face with your creature.
Yeah, I mean, this one you don't actually have to hit them, but I mean, why you're playing a mill card that's based on you attacking.
Yep.
If you want to profitably attack, just kill them. Don't mill. Why are you milling them?
Yep.
Play cards that help you kill them.
Exactly. Yeah, and I mean, Navigator's Room. If you do the math, it's pretty easy. 4 cards per turn at most. If you attack, you have to attack about 5, 6, 7 times in order to get them dead. You're looking at about turn 7.
Yeah,
Granted, actually 7 turns. So you get this down on turn 3, and then you attack them consistently for the next 7 turns. You haven't killed them by 10. You're killing them on turn 10.
Yeah, I mean, they stack, I guess, but jeez, that feels bad.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I just really don't like this card. I don't see myself ever playing it.
No. Sorry, guys. Unless you are literally in love with Mill, don't play Navigator's Ruin.
Yeah. Jeez, these blue cards have been underwhelming so far.
It's not going to get a lot better. This is one with the wind. Spectral Flight. For those who played in Innistrad. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has flying. And auras have been better because removal is worse. So since Spectral Flight, where you had Doomblade, now we don't. So this might be okay.
I don't know. We got Lightning Strike back, but yeah, I see what you mean.
Play this on your creature when they don't have 1 and red up.
Yeah. I agree with you though. These abilities have gotten quite a bit better. It doesn't draw you a card like the last one did. But I mean, this will end some games. I just know it will.
Yeah, and I think this is worth considering. I think there could be some aggressive blue decks. There's some unblockable creatures in blue. Granted, they're small, but there are ways to suit them up. So
yeah,
we could see a very aggressive blue deck come out of this format.
And there are a bunch of lifelink creatures in white. Getting a few hits in with a flying lifelink guy could like change a game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Plus favorable wins. This is +3/+3 in flying.
Yeah. Might be hard for a red-green deck to deal with.
Yeah. Alright, so one with wind. Keep an eye on it, because I think it could be good.
Ah, this is the one. Opt. Blue mana, instant. Scry 1, draw a card.
Good.
Early pick for next band, modern band.
Yeah. if you get any foils, sell them. Soon. Because it's a common, so it's not going to be worth anything on the face value, but the foils could be for modern.
Yeah. This is an awesome card. Mm-hmm. I really like it.
Yeah. So I mean, let's just quickly go through the list of different cards. Preordain, banned. Ponder, banned. Brainstorm, banned. Instant speed, cantrip, with card selection involved. And the really interesting thing is this is a Preordain, not a Serum Visions version. Because the Scry one happens first.
Yeah.
And that's a really big difference why Preordain is banned in Modern, but Serum Visions isn't.
Yeah, just getting rid of that one dead card off the top, it's digging too, so yeah, this card's really, and it's an instant, which Preordain wasn't.
Yes.
This is
an amazing card. This is definitely fit into Modern and Standard control decks, as well as things like Storm and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, I actually think this might be a card that gets control back up in standard.
Possibly, yeah. We're starting to put the pieces together. I mean, unfortunately, Spell Pierce is now a card again, which is actually an anti-control card, but we'll see how we go.
Sure. Yeah.
The next one, Overflowing Insight. So speaking of control, 7 mana, mythic sorcery, target player draws 7 cards.
Keyword sorcery.
Yeah, real important one. I mean, you could play this with your Navigator's Ruin to mill out those last 7 cards because it's target player, not you draw 7 cards.
Yeah. Sell it. Keep selling.
Yeah. No,
this is a bulk mythic, surely.
yeah, I can't imagine this doing very much. I mean, refilling for 7 cards is great, but to do it at sorcery speed, it's just, really bad.
Yeah. And it makes me sad when I saw this was a sorcery. But look, in limited, you're going to play it and you're going to win after casting it.
Absolutely. I mean, this is slotting straight into my Kaho Manamo Historian deck in Commander.
Yeah, I think it's great for Commander too. Like, draw 7's still stupid. Yeah.
So I mean, we've got the artifact in this set that flips into a fork. So you cast this off of that. You get to draw 14 cards, cast it with Swarm Intelligence, draw 21 cards. Good times, draw all the cards. Magical Christmas Land.
Well, yeah, that's what you do in Commander, so that's cool, but I don't think for Standard it's getting there.
No, and certainly not a limited card.
No. Oh, did you say not a limited card?
Not really.
I would play this in limited.
Yeah?
7 cards.
Oh, I think I'd play it in limited, but it's you gotta have the right deck. You gotta have a really control-y deck. You gotta be able to survive for a long time because
Green ramp.
you need triple blue. You need to pay 7 mana, and you need to untap. You need to not be dead when you cast it.
We don't worry about those things in limited. This is awesome.
Sure. Sealed, go for it. 2 HG, absolutely. Refill your buddy's hand.
Yeah, that's sick.
Good stuff. All right, let's go on a Perilous Voyage.
1 and a blue for an instant. Return target non-land permanent you don't control to its owner's hand. Weird wording. If its converted mana cost was 2 or less, scry 2.
Yeah,
this is good.
This is a weird, as you said, it's strange that they're forcing you to bounce someone else's thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that is weird. You can't save your own guy from things, or I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I just find it really weird. I'm guessing they must have had it that way, and there was some interactions where that was significantly beneficial. I mean, we've got a pacifism. What else?
I don't know.
I can't imagine what you're saving your own guys from. I mean, perhaps you just want to trigger raid, so you swing.
Oh, just protect them from a removal spell, just to counter the removal spell. But generally, you're not doing that anyway. So.
Yeah, I think this is a good card, and exactly what Blue wants to do sometimes is just get that thing out of the way.
Yep, and interesting, it's a story spotlight card, and Vraska is sort of reaching out for Jace as he falls down the waterfall, which is kind of weird. Maybe he hits his head and gets his memories back.
Possibly. Also, I'm going to guess Vraska and Jace probably possibly want to team up because she's probably stuck too.
Yeah, I'd say so. Bolas set her up.
Yeah, but it says in the flavor text there, for the first time in her life, Vraska tried to prevent death. Tried being an interesting word there.
Oh, they're not going to kill Jace, no way.
Come on. Don't ruin my dreams, Anthony.
Why do you... He's alright. He doesn't have his memories anymore. He's harmless. Even Vraska thinks so.
We need a new blue planeswalker. Had enough of Jace.
They're never getting rid of Jace. I'm sorry, it's never happening.
I know. I can dream. Alright, moving right along, we have Pirate's Prize. 4 mana sorcery, draw 2 cards, and then create a treasure token. So you get a mana. So it's like Divination, because you get a mana out of it, but it costs 4.
This is so much worse than that 2 mana one that we had before.
Yeah, I think Charter Course is just a lot better.
It's sorcery? Why is it sorcery? I don't know. This just I don't like this. I'm going to play this because I'm playing Blue Green Ram, but I don't think it's very good.
No, I'm not loving this one. Yeah, probably try to avoid Pirate's Prize unless you're Anthony.
Leave them for me. Prosperous Pirates. 4 and a blue for a 3/4 human pirate. When it enters the battlefield, create 2 colorless treasures. So yeah, 2 treasures. I like this card.
This seems good.
I know I shouldn't. It just ramps you. So what, 7, 8?
Yeah, around about that. If you hit your next land drop, you've got 8 mana next turn. Play a giant fish, like cast Overwhelming Insight and draw 7 cards. I mean,
that's it. Yeah.
This is where there's multiple 7 and 8 mana spells with the ones we just mentioned, the Awakening Sun's Avatar from White. These are the little signs that keep telling me maybe this format's going to be slower. Maybe there's room for gigantic spells.
Yeah, I mean, the body on this isn't that great for a 5 mana spell, but 3/4 isn't the worst thing in the world. It's going to block your 2s and 3s. So, yeah. I don't know.
Interesting one. I think this is going to really be what is the format like? Yeah, are we going to have time to do this?
Yeah, exactly. I can see this being one of my favorite cards, but yeah.
Absolutely. Alright, so we have the River Sneak. It's a 2 mana 1/1 that can't be blocked. And whenever a merfolk enters the battlefield under your control, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn.
No.
Yeah, this doesn't seem great. I think it's going to have to be a very specific deck in order for this to be good.
Yeah.
I mean, this is where you play that 3 mana enchantment that makes 1/1s because it pumps your River Sneaks by 2 every time you play a merfolk. And again, very narrow sort of position here to make it in limited.
Yeah, I mean, but if you're the only one getting those cards, it might be okay. I don't know.
Yeah. Standard, I think this is probably one of your all-stars in a merfolk deck, if that exists.
Yeah, I can see this getting there.
Gets very big very quickly. Granted, it's only until end of turn, but if you're playing 1 or 2 merfolk each turn, this is going to be hitting in for 3 unblockable.
Yeah, the more synergy with this, the much better it becomes, yeah.
Yeah, if limited, I think just avoid. Flying Net is not that good.
No.
Oh, this is a blowout.
Yeah. River's Rebuke. 4 blue for a sorcery at rare. Return all non-land permanents target player controls to their owner's hand. Oh my goodness, this card is great. Cyclonic Rift. Not an instant, granted, but it's an absolute blowout, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Cyclonic Rift analogy is apt for 1v1 games, certainly.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is target player, so you only get to bounce one person's stuff in Commander, which is where Cyclonic Rift is amazing. But in Limited, this is incredible. It's just all of your things gone.
Yep. I can't say anything more. This card's great.
Yeah, slam it, play it. I recently played there's a 6 mana blue sorcery in the current set that bounces just 2 creatures, and that's not great. But when it works well, I bounced 2 of my opponent's creatures, but he only had 5 mana, so he could only maximum play 1 of them back to the board.
Yeah.
This is going to have a similar effect. Even if your opponent is on 6 or 7 mana, when you bounce their entire board, they're not going to be able to rebuild fast enough.
Yeah, and I mean, it's great in like board stalls. It's your trump card in so many circumstances, and even if you're behind, it gives you a bit of time to come back into it. So yeah, this card's always good.
Also, a story spotlight card is talking about the what you mentioned earlier. Carefully following the compass Bolas had given her, Vraska blundered straight into a trap. So Bolas seems to have set her up a bit for this trap.
Yeah, sounds like something Bolas would do.
Next one is Run Aground. This is a 4 mana, 3 and a blue for an instant. Put target artifact or creature on top of its owner's library. So Griptide, that also targets artifacts.
Yeah, I think that's for vehicles. I like it. I think this is a good card.
Yeah, this is a great thing. You're
High
basically time-walking your opponent because you've taken whatever they did, put it on the top, try that again.
Yeah, and this can actually just be a complete blowout if they try and use a combat trick or some sort of, they're trying to get tricky with their cards. You can easily get a 2/1 out of this as well.
Yep, great card. Next one.
Okay, Sailor of Means, 2 and a blue for a 1/4 human pirate, and when it enters the battlefield, create a treasure artifact token. Man, I guess this gets you to 5 for the next turn.
There seems to be a lot of these things. Blue is really torn between aggressive flyers that it usually does, and all of these pirates just making money for you.
Yeah, so it makes me think that there's a ramp deck there, which I like. But also, yeah, it's torn, and I don't know. I'm not liking blue at the moment, to be honest. I don't like this particularly much, but...
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about how this is coming together. But, I mean, it blocks well. There aren't that many things that are going to get through 4 toughness for the next couple of turns.
Yeah, I guess so.
Alright. Probably
You're not usually too happy with a 2/4, like it's 3 mana 1/4 though.
No, it's usually pretty below the curve. Much rather have a 2/3.
Yeah.
Alright, well, see how that one goes.
Mm-hmm.
Next one is a Shaper Apprentice. So this is a 2 mana 2/1 Merfolk Wizard, and it can fly if you control another Merfolk.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
I really like
Piker.
that.
Piker's fine. 2 mana 2/1 in blue is pretty standard. And then yeah, flying is excellent. 2-powered fly for 2.
Yeah, I'm on board for this. Aggressive blue flyers. Let's do it.
Yeah, I like it. Almost makes me want to play the River Sneak because these guys get in together really well.
Yeah, that's true. The thing is though, like not a lot of other merfolk have flying, which is a bit weird, but yeah.
Well, this one's a wizard, so it's allowed to do weird things like that.
No, sorry, I just meant if you want to build a flyers sort of aggro deck, I don't know if this actually fits in it because you're probably pairing that with white or black, which wouldn't have a lot of merfolk.
Right, yeah, no, I think this is a merfolk deck as opposed to a blue-white flyers deck. I don't think the flying part is as important.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, it's still fine.
The Shipwreck Looter is a 2 mana 2/1 with raid. So when it enters the battlefield, if you attack with a creature, you may loot.
This card is sweet.
Yeah, it's a really good common. Looting is a great ability, and as I said a moment ago, 2 mana 2/1, all good.
Yep. Just to be clear to everyone, it only triggers when it enters the battlefield. So even though it's got raid, which kind of makes you think every time it attacks, but it's only when it enters if you've attacked with another creature. Yeah.
Yeah, last when we saw raid back in blanking. Karn's block. Raid was like this. This was more what raid was. It was on spells or it was on ETBs.
Oh, was it? Yeah, you're right.
If you attacked, that was the thing. So the new enchantments and stuff like that happen at the beginning of each end step is actually a new way that we do raid. We haven't seen that one as much.
Yeah, you're right.
So if you're familiar with raid, that's what it's sort of. This is a card that acts the way it used to.
Yep.
Next one is Shorekeeper. This is 1 mana for an 0/3, which is an okay blocker. It's a Trilobite, which is kind of interesting. But the most interesting part of this is it's got Ancestral Recall on it for 7 and a blue. 8 mana, tap, sack, Shoreline Keeper, draw 3 cards.
Okay, this is one I want to save up my treasures for. Yep, this is it.
Yeah, this is probably the best of the cycle. So there's a bunch of these 1 mana and then sack them with a bunch of mana to do something cool.
Yeah.
And draw 3 cards is really good.
Yeah, that's sick. And I mean, 0/3 is not the worst of a blocker early on, so it could do something.
Yeah, I think this is one's going to be worthwhile putting into the decks.
Yep.
Alright, the Siren Lookout.
Yeah, 2 and a blue for a 1/2 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, it explores, which is again revealing the top card of your library. Put it to your hand if it's a land, or put a +1/+1 counter on it if it's not.
I'm not sure this is big enough.
Yeah, this is one of the ones where 2/3 is good for the rate, but it's not good enough to take the risk. 1/2 fly is just so bad.
Yeah, that's really not something you want, particularly for 3 mana. I mean, for 2 mana, a 1/2 flyer is pretty bad. Yeah.
A 2/3 flyer though. I'd
Yeah.
risk that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If this was 2 mana with this ability, it would be excellent. But at 3 mana, I don't think it's going to be good enough.
I think it's too far behind the curve. Yeah.
Sorry, Siren, look out. Going to be passed over. For Siren Storm Tamer, this is the 1 mana blue pirate. It was seen on the Magic Arena reveal a little while ago. And it has all the keywords: Siren, Pirate, Wizard, Flying, and for a blue and sacrifice it, you can counter a spell or ability that targets you or a creature you control.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, this is really sweet. This is going to
Oh,
really enable a blue X Pirates deck in Standard if that's something that happens.
Yeah, this kind of makes me feel like there's the blue-black, kind of like the fairies deck back in the day. It's not going to be as good, but I just feel like it's the cheap flyers and they've got like tricky counter stuff, and yeah, I like this card a lot. And this is the one that's going to enable the deck.
Absolutely. And I think as much as Flying Man is bad in Limited most of the time, that ability is good enough to run this because it's going to save one of your creatures later on.
Yeah, and again, with blue-black pirates in particular, raid's going to be a thing. So having cheap flyers that can just keep getting in, making sure you're hitting your raid triggers, that's going to matter.
Yeah, it's a really good card all around, so definitely an early pick.
Yep.
Got a Siren's Ruse.
Yeah, 1 and a blue for an instant at common. Exile target creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. If a pirate was exiled this way, draw a card. There you go. There's your play it in pirates.
Yeah, I played in Pirates. Re-triggers raid. So on that looter, for example, you swing in with the looter, re-trigger it in that way. It's pretty cool.
Yep. And yeah, so any raid trigger, I guess, then yeah, I like it. It's good.
Yeah, I think it's a cool little card. I think it's again, it's a narrow trick, so it's not something you want a lot of, but you know, maybe see this every now and then.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Spell Pierce. This is really good that it's been reprinted simply for the fact that it was an expensive card. This is 1 blue for an instant, counter target non-creature spell unless its controller pays 2 mana.
Yeah, I mean, this is not something you'll play in Limited. This is a standard, or even it's a constructed sideboard card.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, you'd probably see it in Standard, you definitely see it in Modern and that sort of thing, so neat card.
Yeah, great reprint. I think it was only printed in Zendikar?
Yeah, it's a Zendikar.
Yeah, so no wonder it's worth $1 million.
Alright, so yeah, but avoid in Limited, just not worth playing.
Yeah, don't play it.
This one maybe think about playing.
Yes. Spell Swindle. 3 blue for an instant rare. Counter target spell. So 5 mana counter. And then create X colorless treasures. So X treasures where X is the spell's converted mana cost. So the cost of the card that you counted. This card is bonkers good.
That's so brutal. I mean, this is mana drain. A fair mana drain.
5 mana drain.
Yeah.
But you don't have to use it the next turn. You can use it whenever you want. Even the same turn.
On the same turn, absolutely. I mean, you could chain this straight into another spell swindle. You know, keep going.
Sure. Yeah, you could.
And yeah, it's amazing. Like, you untap and you know, if you counter a 4 or 5 mana spell, you're looking at 10 mana the following turn.
That's
just
crazy.
amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, really cool card. I think I definitely want to be picking up and playing these in my blue decks because the blowout potential is massive.
Oh yeah, this is huge. I love this card. This is great.
We'll say buyer beware a little bit. I think we're gushing over it probably a little bit more than it deserves because it is a 5 mana counterspell. So
yeah. But I'm playing it.
yeah, we like it a lot. I can see the applications in Commander, who's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, countering someone goes off with a Genesis Wave for 20, and you're like, no, I'll just have 20 mana, thanks.
Yeah.
But in Limited, it's not that good.
Yeah, it's not. And I mean, it's only a 1-shot mana, but still.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Alright, the next one is a Stormfleet Aerialist. This is a 2 mana 1/2 with flying and raid. And when it enters the battlefield, it gets a +1/+1 counter if you attack with a creature this turn. So 2 mana, 2/3.
I like this. And this makes me want to play those cheap 1 mana flyers and get this online turn 2.
Yeah, this is really starting to put the favorable wins deck together.
Yeah.
Cards like this, cards like the 1/2 Explore guy is probably starting to be playable if you've got enough flyers and favorable wins.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're all got +1/+1 counters, so don't forget our Merfolk buddy who makes them unblockable.
Yep.
In case they need it.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, really cool uncommon. Definitely pick up and play that one.
Yeah, definitely. Might even see Constructed play.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Next one is Stormfleet Spy. 2 and a blue for a 2/2 human pirate and a raid. When it enters the battlefield, if you attack with a creature this turn, draw a card. That's just... This card's awesome.
I mean, most of the time, this reads 3 mana, 2/2, draw a card.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Every now and then that's going to be difficult to achieve. Sometimes you can't get in, but I think this is a really good 3-drop.
Depending on what the card is, I'll just sacrifice it and get the new card.
Yeah, sometimes you will just throw away your little dork. If you've got a 2 mana, 2/1, just chuck it in there. Who cares? Draw a card.
Yeah. Sometimes you can just trade it off and then get up on cards. It's great.
Yeah, Stormfleet Spy, very cool uncommon.
Mm-hmm.
Got a Storm Sculptor. This is a 4 mana 3/2. It can't block, and when it enters the battlefield, return a creature you control to its owner's hand.
Can't be blocked.
Oh, can't be blocked. Okay, good. I was about to say this is terrible. That's much better.
Yeah, it's much better. This is actually sort of a reprint from a card from Gatecrash. There was the exact same card, I think it was. You have to return a creature you control to your owner's hand, and yeah, so
there was I'm thinking of is that Aether
Keymaster or something? No, something Keymaster or something like that. But Dimir was so bad in that format that it never really saw much play in Limited. But this one, if the format's slow enough, this could be great. And there's a whole heap of Enter the Battlefield triggers that you want to get with Raid and Explore, and yeah, I like it quite a bit.
Yeah, I think it looks good. I mean, it just puts a clock on your opponent. It says, kill this or you are dead in your life total divided by 3.
Yeah.
I think that's a really threatening thing for them, so it puts that pressure on the opponent. I think this is going to be worth putting in the decks.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Storm Sculptor gets a pass here. The Tempest Caller is next. What does this thing do?
2 blue for a 2/3 Merfolk Wizard, and when Tempest Caller enters the battlefield, tap all creatures target opponent controls. So, Alpha Strike.
Yeah.
Guy.
That's a big move. 4 mana for a 2/3, so that's not great. But yeah, tap your opponent's team, and then you can choose how to smash them in the face.
I just get a feeling there's not going to be a short there are plenty of ways to end a game in this format. Like, you've got this one. There was one in white, like, that jumps your guy. There's just heaps of different things that just let you push through for a lethal swing.
Yeah, you're definitely going to want to be careful about these sort of sudden swings in the play. Don't always count on being able to block, that's for sure.
Yeah, this is scary. Card's good. I'll play it. If it's not winning you the game, though, 2/3 for 4 is not good.
No, I mean, it does let you get in raid triggers if that's something you want to do. You need to have a spell with raid to play, but that's
Yeah.
possibly. And you don't have to alpha. Like, you might just want to get in and play this and chip in a bit of extra damage.
Yeah. But then the body's not great after that. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Interesting card. Next one is a Water Trap Weaver. It's a 3 mana 2/2 Merfolk Wizard. And when it enters the battlefield, tap target creature and opponent controls that creature doesn't untap. So Frostlings. That's also
Sweet.
Merfolk. And Frostlings was awesome. I remember playing that in the last M set. It was
M15 I think it was, yeah. And that was good, even though blue was really bad, I remember, in that format. but that card was really good. And I think this, if blue's any good, this will be great too.
Yeah, and just putting them together, I mean, we've got some ways, we saw the unblockable guy a few minutes ago that bounces creatures. This is exactly the kind of creature you're going to want to bounce, replay, tap your things. Yeah, a lot of enters the battlefield for blue at the moment.
Yeah, I like it. And it lets your little guys get in. It's a tempo swing. And I think that's the way the aggressive blue decks are going to win, like with effects like this that just slow your opponent down.
Starting to explain why the Perilous Rescue, the Perilous Voyage is opponents' things only.
Yes.
We're going to have a Wind Striker.
5 mana, 3/3, flash flying. I love these cards, and this is a common too. There was an M set, I think it was M12 or 13, maybe it was M13, and you just get people all the time with these cards. You just pick things off all the time. This card's great.
Yeah, this is a really good card in blue when you have some counters. So if you have, I mean, perfect with Spell Swindle because it's the same mana cost. You just like play something awesome, or I'll just play a 3/3 with flying. But yeah, the fact that the opponent sits there and thinks, well, they're a blue deck, they're probably going to counter stuff, so I'm just going to swing in and make them do something else. And then you just drop this and ambush their stuff.
Yeah. I really like it. And, you know, when you got heavy removal deck, you just hold up your removal or your counter spells or you draw spells that are instant. And, yeah.
No, really good one. So, Wind Striker, definitely a good card. And that is the end. What do you think? Blue started off a bit shaky, but maybe pull it together in the end?
Yeah, I'm hoping so. Blue always seems to look good, and then it sort of peters out, and then it gets better again. It's got a weird thing. I'm not too excited at the moment, but I'm hoping it'll be better than I think.
All right. Well, I'm pretty hopeful with blue. I think they've got some really nice evasive creatures. Blue-white flyers, as always, is a sweet archetype, and it's definitely available here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us for all the blue cards. Up next, we're going to have a look at my very favorite cards, the black cards, and I hope you join us then.
Yep. See you then, guys.